Suze.
What are you doing?
Oh my gosh, I'm trying to come down from a stressful morning.
What happened?
Okay, so it was supposed to be like my morning of self-care, and I made the mistake. So my self-care, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go take care of all the things that make me feel good. I'm going to go get my car washed, and then while I go get my car washed, I'm going to go get a manicure and a pedicure.
Oh,
and
wow.
you've already heard that the car wash is my least favorite place in the world. Why do I even try?
Right, why bother?
Why bother? Why do I go? So Landon, like a couple weeks ago, was like, oh, I'll take care of your car. Don't worry. I'll go get, everything done. Yeah, that didn't happen. So I'm now doing it all myself. And so I went to get my car washed. And while I was getting my car washed, I'm like, okay, I bought the deluxe package, interior, whatever. So I'm like, it'll take an hour. So I'm like, oh, I'll go get my nails done. I'll go get a manicure, pedicure. And I go do that. And pedicure, not good.
What
Didn't
happened?
even you can't start cutting my cuticles before you put any cuticle, whatever they put on it, or before you even get them wet. I was like, whoa, this seems like the wrong order to be doing things in. And I even looked on Yelp to see what, got good reviews and everything. So, so go get my manicure, pedicure. Then I go back to the car wash, pick my car up. It's still covered in stuff.
Oh,
There's
God.
black marks all over the side. So the guy gives me a towel with some stuff on it to clean. Well, I didn't know that the stuff he gave me was like an acetone. Manicure gone.
No.
Yes, my nails are they looked awful.
Okay. I
Like
was
when you
gonna
go to
say
clean,
that I was starting to think you were the problem because you think everyone does shitty work. But clearly he should have warned you.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that,
Did you say anything?
In my mind, I was like, okay, Sarah, you've now spent a half an hour, cleaning this car. And, there was, multiple pieces of dog food that I vacuumed up. I'm like, how did we miss this? And so then I'm like, you know what? I'm sick of it. I'm just going to go and I'm going to talk to somebody. I'm going to be that annoying person. So I'm like, go inside, real nice, talk to me. He goes, I paid for the interior detail, and I feel like I, just did it all myself. Can I get a refund? Can you charge me for the regular price? And they're like, oh, go talk to the guy outside. Go talk to the guy outside. He was like, oh, no, go talk to the girls inside. I'm like, oh, for Christ's sake. I'm like, they told me to come talk to you. And he's like, yeah, well, we don't do that.
That's a clever way of getting out of, being the bad guy. Is just send you back and forth.
I was like, oh, my God. And then I had to do, the walk of shame past all the other people who were, waiting to get their car, pick their car up.
Shame.
And I was just, as I'm holding the towel and the spray bottle in my hand, and I'm dressed in, Doc Martens and all leather today, so I look like
butch.
Super butch. Yeah, they're
you
definitely
really need your own reality show. I'm telling you.
Oh my God, it's insane. Why is it always Oh my God, and I just went to change my shirt and I realized my shirt's on inside out. Okay, well that's nice.
Well, and you said you had a deodorant mishap.
Oh yeah, well I mean I was extra stinky after I had to clean my own car. And, I'm sweaty. And I got my hair done this morning and she curled it. Curl's gone. Everything's gone because I was sweaty, cleaning the side of a car. So I'm like, oh my God, all the stuff that I attempted to do to make myself feel better just created massive anxiety. So I came home and I'm like, oh, I got to get some deodorant. Then I was wearing a new sweater, took off my sweater, put the deodorant on without looking, and had deodorant mixed with black sweater fuzz all down my arm. And I'm like, okay, well, we're just going to start over.
Well, what you're describing actually reminds me of an article that I wanted to ask you if you had read or heard about. It was in Buzzfeed this past week, and it was about millennial burnout.
Oh.
And it was just...
You know what? I feel like I did see something about this. Tell me more.
Yeah. Well, it was written by the same woman who wrote the book that we had in our book club, the Too Fat, Too Loud, Too Slutty, whatever one is, Anne Helen Peterson. And she was describing this thing that I'm sure you can relate to where you have a task that you need to complete and it's not a big deal, but you just can never get the thing up to do it. So she called it errand paralysis where you have a thing to return at the store and it takes you a month to do it or whatever it is. And she started to examine why she and so many people her age had this problem where our parents didn't have it. They just took care of shit. And she realized that, and it was a really long article and it was really worth the read, but she said that she believes it's because we're always working. Like there aren't
Yes.
parameters for like, this is leisure time and this is work time and this is whatever time. And so like you have a never ending enormous to-do list, and that is something that is unique to this generation. And some people took issue with the article and were like, we've always been burnt out. Like everyone has people have been overwhelmed for generations, but I'm of two minds about it. I get what they're saying, that like we're not shoveling coal. And so like we should be thankful that a lot of the jobs that we don't want to do have been automated or antiquated. But the point remains that we are expected to be on call.
Yes.
In terms of social media and email and all of that, text.
Even just being available all the time.
Yeah. Even if it's not for work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I did really relate to that, especially because I work from home and stuff. So, but I think that people feel it in general. And like even the idea that we have to post pictures all the time. And so we ourselves are commodified, like as human beings. That's a new thing.
Yes. Agreed.
So it was really a great article. And I think if I kept thinking of you when I read it, because
and there's go ahead.
Well, because you're actually a millennial and I'm not. So, but anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm like, it's like even when I was getting my hair done this morning, I was doing work stuff and I'm like dating my hours for work. And then I'm like, talking to Adam about uploading files and all this stuff. And the girl who's doing my hair was like, man, you don't even get to relax. Like I feel like you're like buzzing at 1,000,000 miles a minute here. And I'm like, yeah, because it's not really an off day. Like there's no such thing as an off day.
Well, because it'll just pile up. If you take time to yourself, it's just there waiting for you.
Right.
So you don't ever really get the break. And that goes double for people with kids and, because then, I read this other article that was totally depressing about how women have less leisure time, a half hour less a day than men. And that was especially true for wives. It said that wives have moms. Moms have an hour less of leisure time than dads.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to burn everything down.
Yes, I get that. I mean, I even get angry, like, Lana just goes upstairs and goes straight to bed. And I'm like, I got to wash my face, put on all this shit.
That is so true.
Dude, it takes me the whole bathroom routine, and I'm trying to, do it and because this face ain't getting any younger. So I'm putting all this stuff on it. And it takes me a half an hour to do that routine at night.
It's funny that you say that because the article that specifically said that women have 28 more minutes of getting ready to do in the morning as well. Makeup, doing your hair, whatever. And so you're screwed, basically.
Yeah, totally. And forget it if you have to go out somewhere.
Oh my God, right. And they're just sitting there watching, what is that show on ESPN that they all watch? Sports Center.
Oh my God, First Take or Sports Center. Pick one, whichever.
What's First Take?
First Take's just the one that's on in the morning.
That's so funny.
It's with Stephen A. Smith.
Oh my God, you know them all.
Oh, I know all of them.
Well, if we haven't dissuaded you yet, you should, don't let us prevent you from getting married. And if you do choose to get married and lose your leisure time, as we've just described, then you should use Zola because it's an awesome wedding registry site where you can save the dates and invitations. They have tons of wedding planning with free wedding websites, a wedding registry, and free, easy-to-use wedding planning tools. And we love how, they make the registry so much better. You can get group gifts where people can...
I love that
contribute to a big thing, even if they don't know all the other gift givers. Create a honeymoon fund. And then you get 20% off your remaining gifts after the wedding, so you can go on a spree with all that fat cash.
God, I might get married again just so I can get the discount.
And, Sarah and I are married, but it is great for guests, too. If you use a site that's convenient and a one-stop shop, it's great for everybody. So if you want to start your free wedding website or registry on Zola, go to zola.com/braincandy. So that is ZOLA.com/braincandy, and you can start your free wedding website or registry. if we haven't, talked you out of marriage altogether. But anyway, another funny thing about the Time article was, I don't know if this will surprise you or not, but it said, Black Americans watch 2 times as much TV as Asian Americans. And then it said, the less affluent, older, and less educated you are, the more TV you'll watch.
That absolutely makes sense.
Okay, tell me why you think so.
Well, I just feel like...
Because I would have thought that, like... A lot of times when you're less educated and less affluent, you're having to work like 3 jobs and... Oh,
I see.
So I was surprised.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe if you're with being educated, kind of gets this like hunger and desire to like read, or maybe you'll like develop like habits like picking up a newspaper, other hobbies. So I think it's more of like, what are they doing instead of that?
That's interesting. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, so if they're waking up in the morning and they're doing a crossword puzzle or reading a paper or reading a book or meditating or whatever they're doing, then they're not watching television, or at night before they go to bed. What do you do before your bed? Do you go to bed? Do you read? If reading wasn't a part of your, we talked a lot about in previous episodes about how many books were in your house growing up. And if you didn't have any books in your house, what on earth would be a model? Like, where on earth would you get a model for going to bed at night with a book? So... I think it has something to do with that. And it's you can become kind of addicted to that. That TV kind of lets you zone out and it's an escape. And
if you have a lot of stress, that can be a really effective way to like just check out, and I get it.
Yep.
I don't blame them for that. Do you want to hear a thing that was sent to us by a brainiac named Allie? She's a Canadian. Yes. And this story is bonkers.
Oh, my God. Yes, I can't wait.
She said that this was big news in Canada, but I hadn't heard at all about it. And this is from a few months ago. This guy, he was a well-known musician. He was an older gentleman, but people knew him. And he went missing, and nobody knew where he was, like without a trace. And then a man fell from... I guess a building or something, like he dropped to his death in an accident. And the people that found him, he didn't have like any ID or anything. So they called the police and they identified him as this musician. And then the family came and, identified him, and they had a funeral. And according to Allie, they had an open casket funeral and then buried him as you do. And then...
Oh my God, I'm getting nervous. I can feel my blood pressure rising.
Wait, I told it wrong. Shit. Okay. Back up.
Okay. Good thing I interrupted.
I totally fucked this story up. Okay, so this guy drops to his death. I'm so loving that I fucked this up. Okay, so a guy drops to his death, and then they called the police. And the police were like, oh, this other guy who's not the musician went missing. And they identified him as this other guy. They picked up the corpse. They had the open casket funeral. And then they buried him. And then that guy turns up a few days later like, hey. And they were like, uh-oh. We
just buried you.
Yeah, they buried the musician guy. But they weren't his family.
And so a bunch of people came to celebrate a funeral. Oh, no.
How did they have an open casket and not notice?
And nobody looked inside it?
I think maybe the injuries he sustained must have been... They must have thought that is why he looked different.
Well, you know what they say, all Canadians look alike, so...
I can't believe I screwed it up. But the point remains that someone was buried and there was a case of mistaken identity. So the wrong family mourned him, and the other family thought the guy was missing when he was dead.
So are they going to do a do-over funeral?
They had to exhume the body and make sure that this was the case. But they were like, we're pretty sure, though, because the key in his pocket matched the musician's, residence.
Oh, my God.
It was him, and I'm sure they figured it out. And I don't know if they had another funeral or what the hell, but
where'd this missing guy run off to for however long? What was he doing?
That's such a good point. They never They never explained where he was in the
Where
article.
the fuck was this guy?
Only you would think of that. You're like, how dare you? You didn't even tell me you were going to be gone.
Right. Because, like, I mean, I don't know. You can't just, like, stroll in and be like, hey, guys,
you're
back
so
from the dead.
Right. Back from the dead. Yeah, but maybe he was, like, a transient or something.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. But there you go. That's from Allie, the brainiac.
Interesting. So make sure, and I don't know, maybe they slap all that makeup on him. Like, this is an older man, right? Mm-hmm. Like, reconstruct his face and he just looks like a regular old guy.
They did say that at the time of all of this confusion that there had been, like, some kind of storm or something in the town. And so it was like a lot of people were out of touch and that was confusing. And so maybe that's why the guy had gone missing, like he was he didn't have electricity or something. I don't know. Got it.
Yeah. So he's just filling in holes for us. That's probably the electricity or something. It's off the grid.
I don't know, but still, I'm kind of freaked out anytime anybody's like almost buried alive or, like you bury the wrong person. I don't know. It just really gets to me.
We know that you've got a fear of those kind of things. Right. Being buried alive. So, question, have you ever been to an open casket funeral?
Yeah.
What's that like?
Have you not?
No. I think, you know what? I think that my friend's mom passed away when I was younger, and I think it was an open casket, but I couldn't look.
Yeah.
I was too scared.
I can see why. I mean, it's kind of creepy even as an adult, and maybe more so because you're just like, wait, this makes no sense. Yeah. I find it to be a very odd tradition.
I do too. I'm not. Well, you know what? It probably comes from not wanting to do what just happened in Canada.
So true.
It's probably like that so that they can check. Wait, is this the guy?
Yeah, maybe that's how it began.
There's got to be a reason for that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you're probably right. It does seem like the family would have noticed, though.
Unless they were all like me and scared to look.
I'll tell you what,
maybe you're like doing that thing where you're looking, but it's not really registering. You just like, I don't know.
Well, if you ever die though, and I have to be like, yeah, that's her. There's no way I would mistake you for anyone else.
Oh, right. Well, the tattoos are a dead giveaway.
I didn't even think of that.
I have a lot of identifying marks.
Yeah, that's true. You're kind of like one in a million or one in a infinity because of that. That's lucky.
And you have some serial numbers in you, so no problem there.
Where do you think of this stuff?
Well, because I'm thinking of how you would identify a dead body if you didn't know who it was or something.
I would love to know if that has ever been like how you've identified a corpse.
Guaranteed. 100%. At least on a lot of Law and Order episodes.
Oh, really?
For sure. Where like people will identify, because any medical, like surgical, what do you call them? Like not device, but something that goes inside you has a serial number, has all the stuff on it.
I have a little card that has the number on it.
And even if you get like metal plates in your leg or some sort of like seal, they're all like identified so that if anything went wrong, like that manufacturer can be like liable or the doctors can go after it, or if they lose it in the body, God forbid, something like that. Yeah. So from what I know, all those things are like traceable.
Right.
And so they would be able to track it. Oh, now I want to know what parts go inside of you that have serial numbers on it.
Like I said, I did get a card when mine were put inside of me, my implants, and it says the serial number. You're right. Well, if you don't want to die and you want to make sure that you're well hydrated, drink some liquid IV.
That is important to keep you alive.
We were at the Chicago meetup, and Adam, he doesn't drink anymore, almost never, and he decided to have a beer, and he's so paranoid that he's going to like get dehydrated that he now brings liquid IV packets with him. And at the Chicago meetup, he opened up a packet and like put it in his water. And the brainiacs were like, wait a minute, is that liquid IV?
I love it. They're like, oh my God, he does use it.
We really do. We love it so much.
Yeah, I got my brother over and he absolutely is stealing my stash.
Well, it's really helpful. Like whether you have it's cold and flu season or you're traveling. And I just feel dehydrated in winter in general. Like my whole body is needing hydration. But so we really do love Liquid IV. It's a little packet of electrolyte drink mix you can mix with your water, and it hydrates you at 2 to 3 times as fast as drinking just a regular bottle or glass of water. And it has vitamins and it's tasty. We love Liquid IV. We know you will too. Right now, our listeners get 20% off at liquidiv.com when you use code BRAIN at checkout. It's 20% off anything you order on Liquid IV's website. Go to liquidiv.com and enter promo code BRAIN to get your savings and start getting better hydration. That's liquidiv.com, promo code BRAIN. Don't wait, get hydrated today. Notice they have a new website, the Liquid IV. It used to have a dash in it. So,
oh, cool.
Anyway, yeah, stock up. But Adam's probably selling them out. You better hurry. Anyway, that's so funny though. Your brain is so interesting to me because you immediately thought of the tattoos and how that would make you identifiable, and then you immediately thought of my breasts. And I just feel like
when do I not, Susie?
You're only human.
I'm only human.
But you think of things that I would never think of. It drives me crazy.
Well, you know what? And same for you.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
No, I'm kidding.
We're a good team. Let's just say that.
That is a fact.
How about how there was this guy, he's 90 years old, and he competes in, professional competitive cycling.
Oh, yeah? Wow,
but he
90.
always,
Damn.
but he always, wins his age category because he's the only one. But he still celebrates it, which I think is super cool. And he won the gold in his age group, and he decided to go out to a diner to celebrate. And at the diner, he ordered, do you ever eat liver?
Well, when I was a baby, but not now,
when you were
and not
baby?
by choice. Yeah, my mom, oh my God, that's another story. But my mom read somewhere that liver really helps brain develop something in babies, and so she only fed the liver for
maybe that's the secret, Sarah.
It's really rich in iron, so she was give my baby only liver for everything.
I wonder if that's what happened to you.
That's it. That's how I can draw these amazing conclusions. It's the liver.
You never know. Don't say it ain't that.
And that's probably why this guy's still cycling at 90. So there you go.
Well, unfortunately, the hormones that they inject in the cows are more intense in the organ itself, and so he got cut for doping because of it.
No.
Yes.
Get out of town.
He did.
Suze.
He is so sad about it. And
oh my God.
They took his gold medal away.
No.
They did.
I want to hug him.
I know. He's so sad. And he's I'm not going to quit cycling, but he's
I am quitting liver.
He's I just think they shouldn't waste money testing people that are older than a certain age because we're not doing this to get endorsements or anything. And he's so right. Even if he had been doping, who the fuck cares?
Right.
So,
for goodness sakes.
Sad.
Yeah, but good story.
Ew, and how gross is it that in the liver there's so many hormones?
Maybe don't feed your baby liver.
Unless it's organic or something.
Yeah, what if it's different now? I bet it is.
Oh my God, I'm sorry I'm dominating, but I have so much to say to you.
No, Suze, I'm so excited because I always, this is what happens is I always tell everything in the episode before and I'm oh crap, all my good stories are gone.
I wanted to talk to you about this phenomenon, well, I don't know, trend, I should say, where people eat their own placenta after they give birth to a baby.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that, first of all?
Well, we had talked about, what was it? Wearing it as a jewelry and all, with the umbilical cord and all that. With the placenta, I've heard that, I'm kind of for it. I'm kind of animals also eat their own shit, but, I'm kind of okay with it. I think that if the pills that you can get, you can have it put you can send it off and Yeah, I'm fine with all that.
Okay, because I follow this woman on Twitter named Dr. Jen Gunter, and she's a OBGYN, and she is always mad about like Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop and how they sell those jade eggs and all that stuff.
So dumb.
And so she was talking recently about the placenta phenomenon. I think because Chrissy Teigen had mentioned on the countdown on New Year's Eve that something about eating placenta, or no, vaginal steaming. And so then she got on this whole thing about how this doctor is sick of like debunking all this stuff.
Yeah.
And so then I put out a thing on the Brain Candy Crush saying like, are any of you guys placenta eaters on Facebook? Because I want to talk to you on the podcast. And I'll be damned, like so many people responded saying that they have those capsules that you described.
Yeah.
And Dr. Jen Gunter says this is all, basically nothing more than the placebo effect, and that you're wasting your money kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But these people are so super into it, and anecdotally are all saying like it made such a big difference. It prevented like postpartum and like had more breast milk and all this stuff. And Dr. Gunter is like, this isn't a thing, like scientifically. So I don't know.
I feel like is it really that you're wasting your money if the placebo effect works, which we know it does.
Yes.
And say that decreases the likelihood of postpartum by 50% or whatever, because placebo effect is what it usually is, around 50%. So, okay, I'll shell out the dinero for that.
Yeah.
Even if it's a placebo effect. I'm like totally fine with all of that kind of stuff. Give me the sugar pills and lie to me.
I think
my brain
that if it
will
were
like
sugar
that.
pills, she would be more okay with it. But she says that the placenta, it just like any human organ, can get bacteria.
Yes.
And
I keep hearing that too.
Can really raise your risk of getting sick, which is a problem.
I have heard that like if there was one place, there was some story I read about someone who did send it off, and it was processed in a facility where it wasn't like what is the word?
Compliant or
something like that, where it wasn't hygienic,
yeah,
and all the bacteria or whatever it was got in there, and it did make her sick.
Yeah.
So
do whatever you want. I say
do whatever you want.
I do find the conversation interesting, and hopefully one of these hookers will come on here and talk about placenta eating. I truly was so ignorant about it that I didn't even know that you could get them dehydrated in a capsule. I'm picturing them with a knife and fork.
Right. When my mom was in Costa Rica, and I went down there to visit her a couple years ago and stayed with her for a while, and her next door neighbors were this young couple, younger than me. They were probably like 24, 25, who came down to Costa Rica. They're like really hippie. And they came down to Costa Rica, rented this place specifically to have the baby. And they had the baby like in the jungle, in this bungalow, in a bathtub in the backyard. And then she's like 6 hours from a hosptal. To me, it was insane.
Man.
Like way too crazy. And I'm all about the home birth and will absolutely be doing that. And, maybe not home, but because I'm too far away from the hospital. But, like the midwife thing, like all that. I'm into it.
Yeah.
But, I'd like an emergency like evacuation plan.
Yeah.
Plan B. And so she had the baby. It was wonderful, magical. Everything went great. But she kept the placenta attached to the baby, the umbilical cord. She didn't cut the umbilical cord and kept everything attached until it essentially like dried out and on its own.
The whole
stopped,
thing?
Like until it stopped. Giving the baby it'll keep pumping. It'll keep like working as long as it's attached. And I mean, it must have been like days.
Oh my God.
And she had it on the bed next to her. It was so gross. I saw it
So
and then they
gross.
It was so gross. Again,
a lot of natural things
do what's
are gross.
good for you.
Yeah.
No judgment.
No.
But I will have opinions. And they her midwife or doula sprinkled, there's oils and lavender around it to kind of mask the smell. But she's like,
man,
because it was smelling stinky. And my mom took her like the baby photos, like the newborn baby photos for her. And my mom was even like, she was like, I was like grossed out because I'm like,
Sally's like, no.
right? I'm like, if my mom's like, whoa, that was too much, then it is too much.
God, that's funny.
Yeah, she was like, I had to like try to like avoid that in the picture, and it was hard. It was like I couldn't stop looking at it, and it was like seeping into the bed. So.
What I can't stop looking at is the Instacart app, which is so amazing. As you guys know, I'm obsessed with automating my life. I basically don't ever leave my house, and thanks to Instacart, that is a lot easier because now you don't even have to go to the grocery store. They will deliver your groceries in as little as 1 hour, or you can schedule a time that works with your schedule. They have coupons on there that are exclusive to them, so you can save money on your groceries as well. And they have them delivered from local and national retailers. Plus, you don't have to get in your car and go buy them. So it's super easy. You just go download the app, Instacart, or go to instacart.com, and you can shop for groceries and all that jazz, and then they deliver them to you. So try Instacart and get $10 off your first order. To get this limited time offer, go to instacart.com or download the mobile app and enter our promo code BRAINCANDY at checkout. That's $10 off your first order today at instacart.com or through the mobile app. And don't forget to enter our code BRAINCANDY, instacart.com or through the mobile app with our code BRAINCANDY at checkout. Love stuff like that.
Yeah, and they just started delivering to my house.
That's so exciting.
I'm thrilled.
It's that I've been telling you about this forever where
and I've been waiting.
I know, like you've always been like, they don't have it.
I'm like, I'm checking. And then I went in yesterday. I'm like, they have it. Yes.
Well, and
it takes me about an hour to get to the GD grocery store. So
right.
I need this more than anybody.
Well, it's funny because that Millennial Burnout article on Buzzfeed was talking about how like the older generations are like, oh, quit complaining. You guys even get your groceries delivered and this and that. But she was like, yeah, we do all that stuff and automate everything. And then we just work more.
Yep. That's exactly why. And that's exactly it. And any free time you have, you're like, well, I don't have enough time to go to the grocery store. So I'm going to use my extra 20 minutes on my lunch break or coffee break to, go grocery shopping. And then, then you're just working more. Yeah.
Yes. That is exactly right.
Yeah.
I do, like, I was reading comments from the brainiacs about the article, and they were like, this sounds like people are just lazy. And there were parts of it where I was like annoyed because everybody our age thinks they should have a job that like they're passionate about, including me. Hello, I talk for a living. But, and like you are fulfilled at your job and, working in the clinic and all that stuff. That's like a new idea. People didn't used to think their job was also going to fulfill them. So it's a little bit of muddy water there.
Yeah.
But anyway.
but I am that is like the foundation of my theory, my theory of change, like the
What is it?
The theory that I use, and because there are a whole bunch of different ways that you can treat clients. There's a whole bunch of different theoretical models that you can follow.
Yeah.
Whether you're more like systemic and looking at the family, or you're looking at like cognitive behavioral therapy that's more just like behaviors and actions and how do we work on that. And I use one called the Satir method that talks a lot about like congruent communication and things like that. But the foundation of it is identity and is being in line like with the things that are passionate and like that you're passionate about, and being able to identify like what is it that motivates me? What is it that is like my we were talking a couple episodes about those two kind of old people. There's like the ones who are wonderful and great because they feel like they have a purpose, and then the ones who are like bitter and old because they don't.
Yeah.
And when you're in line with the things that are meaningful, the things that like bring you, that give you a sense of purpose, and you feel like you're contributing, like all that lines up, and it creates less dis-ease later in life.
Yeah. See,
I'm all about that.
well, like, do you feel like you're accomplishing it with your own?
Yes. Oh, wait, with myself?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? Like, do I feel like I'm what?
I guess I wonder, like, the things that you're teaching other people, do you feel like come easy to you?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Then that's the reason why I think it's so important, because
Right.
I can see where the struggle comes in. And she's got this whole model of the different components of the self. So like your spiritual beliefs, your nutrition and health, your like mind-body connection, your education, and like all those have to be balanced and all those have to be looked at.
Yeah.
And like, what are those areas and are all those being taken care of? Do you have like very strict rules in certain categories? Can we soften those and things like that kind of create people to have like very rigid, narrow thinking or be really hard on themselves or
Have you
whatever
seen that
it is.
list? It circles on social media a lot. It's like, if you think you're depressed, like go through this checklist, like, have you had a glass of water? Have you eaten a meal? Are the people around you toxic? Like you go through this whole from small to large things that like could be affecting. Because even when I went to therapy recently, she was like, I think it might just be circumstances. And I'm like, I think you're right, because my brain isn't.
Yes.
I think it's more like what's happening rather than like a chemical thing. But
Totally.
you kind of have to figure that out, which can be hard.
Yes, absolutely. It's like looking at what's going on. They call it a biopsychosocial.
Ooh.
Biopsychosocial, whatever. I can't remember.
That's so
but
smart.
biological, psychological, and sociological.
I'm getting real horny over here for all these.
Oh, yeah. All these smart words I'm throwing out.
I mean, I love nerdy culture. What's
Yeah.
that called where you're attracted to like smart people? I forget the word for it. It's like a thing.
I can't remember, but it is a thing.
Yeah, and I get that because when you just said that, I'm like, yeah, tell me more. Talk nerdy to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like a good checklist to have because sometimes it's just like you're hanging around with dicks.
Yep, absolutely. And my therapist told me, she was like, hey, you got to stop going to people who are giving you shitty advice and saying the wrong things.
Yes.
Like, go to the people who, it's almost like I'm perpetuating my own feelings of being like, oh my God, I'm all alone here. Because I keep going to the people who, even sometimes as my own family,
Can
who are
alienate
like,
you.
It's fine. It's not a big deal. And she's like, why don't you go to the people who are your friends who said, hey, call me anytime, even if it's 3:00 in the morning when you're not feeling whatever. Why don't you use those people? And we have to like surround ourselves with people who don't care about the details, who just, and the fact, or like not the facts, but like that stuff, and care more about us and our feelings. And
Totally.
it doesn't matter if the facts are whatever they are. Do you feel hurt? Do you feel sad? Okay, great. Then I'll help you.
Yeah. So like, what's the job? I mean, just from your work point of view, like if you're the therapist, is your job to acknowledge their feelings, or is it to be like that? What you're describing, like, is not like where a therapist might say like, well, maybe you should just get over it or something. Because I've had people do that.
I think it depends. You know, I think a therapist can be somebody where you can kind of bounce. It gives you somebody to bounce something off of. It also they are great at reflecting back maybe how others interpret what you're doing.
That's true.
And sometimes we don't even see it. The same way, like when I watched the show, when I watched The Real World, I was like, oh my God, look at me. I don't want to do that. But you don't realize it in the moment because you're so used to these reactions and you're so used to behaving in this way that when you look at it from, like a third person perspective, you're like, oh, I get it. And a lot of and again, it depends on what kind of model you use. So if you're somebody who's like what do they call him? Rogerian therapist, like Carl Rogers, I think is his name. And he's more of like tell me how you're feeling. Mm-hmm. And what does that mean to you? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not into that.
So me neither. So like that is more like letting the client kind of explore their own thing, where sometimes they're more directive. There are therapists who are narrative therapists that kind of do it all as like telling us of a story and like externalizing the problem and tell me how the anger affects you, not your anger affects you, things like that. So, and it all depends on the person. Everybody has a different key to unlock the door. And that's the job of a therapist, is to really feel out, what does this person need right now? Do they need guidance? Do they need, somebody to kind of like reflect maybe what others see that they're not seeing? Is the relationship with the therapist a reflection of their relationship with people in the rest of their lives. Like a lot of times, however, like the therapist will be almost like a surrogate for another relationship that the client has, and you can kind of start to see that come out in the session. So it's all about what the client needs.
Oh,
yeah,
that's very helpful.
Just give me my degree already.
If you, I know,
I just use that as my final. Just listen to the episode. Listen to episode 288. Will be great.
Well, I mean, it's true though. I mean, it's helpful information. Like if you're searching for a therapist, can you say like what method do you do?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And in fact, I think that's the best thing to do. Sometimes, you don't really know what's the best, but you can find out, like, if you've had childhood trauma, then something like EMDR, that's a really, really good one. And so you can there's a website called Psychology Today, the same one that has the magazine,
yes.
has all the therapists on there, and you can filter them by their mode of treatment, by their therapeutic, whatever you call
approach.
it. I don't even know what it's called.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Their approach to therapy.
I love it. That is a good tip. My friend actually just told me that. She was talking about, this is so funny. Hold everything. Let me just get this over with because, I mean, it's a new year and we do need to deal with a topic, which is that everybody charged a crap load of money onto their credit cards.
Yep.
And they're looking at their bill probably and are shocked at their APR if they even bother to look. And you might be surprised that your interest rate is super high. But if you want a lower one, we have a solution, which is Lightstream. So many brainiacs and family members of mine have used this and have had great luck.
Oh, that's so great.
It is. I think it's so cool. If you want to just check it out, see if you could get a lower interest rate and save with a credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream, you could get a rate as low as 6.14 APR with auto pay and save thousands in interest because a lot of people's rates are way higher than that. If you go on the application, which is online and it's super easy, it doesn't take a lot of time, you might get a loan from $5,000 to $100,000 even as soon as the day you apply. Hello! And if you have good credit, you deserve a low rate. So our listeners can save even more with an additional interest rate discount. The only way to get the discount, though, is to go to lightstream.com/braincandy. Spell out the name, LIGHTSTREAM.com. See how I did that? Brain Candy. Subject to credit approval. Rate includes 0.50% auto pay discount. Terms and conditions apply, and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/brain candy for more info. Okay, this is so funny. My friend Eric, who I love, had met me and my friend Emily for dinner and had come straight from his therapy session. And he was saying that his therapist, he called him a gay supremacist.
A gay supremacist?
He's like,
I'm going to need to know more.
He goes, he thinks that gay people are like better than everybody because he is gay and so is the client, Eric. And he goes, like, even when someone's straight, like let's say you say to Tom Hanks, I saw a Tom Hanks movie, and he'll be like, well, he's gay. And Eric would be like, I don't think so, because, he's married to Rita Wilson. And the guy's like, yeah, but he has really strong bi tendencies. Like, even when someone's not gay at all, the guy. And I just love the term gay supremacist.
I do the same thing with people. Landon's like, oh my gosh, I love Bradley Cooper. And I'm like, he's gay, right? And Landon's like, he is not. He dates all the hottest models.
Why
and I'm like,
do you really think he's gay?
I think he has I think he has bisexual tendencies. That's what I heard. That's a rumor on the street. I have zero actual evidence to back this up, and I'm totally going to have people who are mad at me. They're going to be like, he's not. I swear he's dating this person. Now, I heard. This is what I heard.
I hope he is. I mean, maybe I'm a gay supremacist.
Yeah,
we're both gay supremacists. Because
they're always better when they're gay.
They kind of are.
It's true.
So,
I mean,
But that's a term we need to put into the lexicon.
Yeah.
Of brainiacs. By the way, another word that I just forgot earlier is sapiosexual. That's when you're attracted to smart people.
Yes.
Are you a sapiosexual?
Sapio?
Yeah.
Oh. Am I attracted to smart people? Oh, hell yeah.
Because remember when we were on the Ruins and you were into Kenny, and I think Kenny would agree, he's not an intellectual guy.
Yeah.
Would you say that was an exception for you?
Yeah. And you know what? I wouldn't like marry Kenny.
Oh.
Would I?
You might.
Would
He's
I?
so nice.
I might. I know. I'm like, man, I actually might.
I see what you mean, though. Like, you need
You know?
someone that challenges you intellectually.
Yeah. And Landon knows so much about like politics and all that kind of stuff that he's like, and you know, he's all read up on all this stuff, and he kicks my ass in Trivial Pursuit. Like, I would not want to be with somebody who I just murdered in Trivial Pursuit. Then they wouldn't want to play with me. And then there goes my Friday night activity.
I feel like I have a Trivial Pursuit like conspiracy theory, which is that I think it is skewed towards men.
I believe that, absolutely. And I also am pissed with this new, Landon got me the new one that you have.
Yeah.
The Genus 5 or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And they have like trick questions in there. And that's some bullshit. Okay, I'm going to try to remember verbatim what this one was. I even said I need to pull this card out and put it aside because I have to talk about this on the Brain Candy podcast because I'm pissed.
Do you remember the general subject?
Yes, I'm going to remember. It's like, what pest or it's something about, it said, what pest or something like pest hops onto... And then something like 2 million plates in France a year.
Oh, okay. Pest. I guess I would have guessed escargot, but...
Well, it's frogs, and because they said hops on...
Oh!
I was thinking that they were using that as like, what hops on, like, is there a lotus infestation that rolls through once a year? Like, because that says to me that this pest actually physically hops onto the plate. They're using hops on like
good
cute.
Point. I
and
get
being
what you're
cute
saying.
and clever. I'm like, oh, this hops onto the plate. No, don't do that. That just say like is on plates.
I totally get what you're saying.
You put an action behind it, and then Landon kept on rereading it, and I was like, stop rereading it. I understand what it says. I'm just upset that they're trying to be fucking cute and clever. Sorry, Linda, and I'm just like mad about it. And then he beat me, but only by like 1 pie, and I was just really
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying because you thought of it in a different way. That's really annoying.
Yes. And I'm like, okay, well, are we being literal? Because if we're being literal, then you're not being literal. You're being like tongue-in-cheek, and I don't like that shit.
Well, and I don't like how there's an entire category of sports and leisure, but the idea of like if you put on a category that's beauty and, I don't know, whatever else is stereotypically female, beauty and makeup or something like that. Dudes would be so mad thinking like that's unfair. Most women don't know like baseball player names.
I don't. And there are tons of boxer questions.
Yeah, fuck that.
I don't know any of those things. And then you know how to win Trivial Pursuit, you have to make it to the middle, and then the person you're playing against gets to pick your category?
Oh, yeah.
What the hell category you think I always get?
It's not sports and leisure, is it?
Yes, that's what Landon gets. Because they get to pick.
Yeah, but I would think you'd be pretty good because you know, like, more about sports than I do.
I don't know anything about those. Like, the old,
And what category do you choose for him?
Arts and leisure.
Yeah, see that.
Or arts and literature.
That, to me, is like, he knows a lot about those ideas, though. Whereas
I caught him on like a Winnie the Pooh question or something like that.
I remember
he didn't get right.
We had that question when we played on Thanksgiving that year because it was about the author, and you were like, "How do you not know Milne or whatever?"
Right, A.A. Milne. Yeah. I was like, "Are you kidding me? You get this question? What the hell?"
But he didn't get it, right?
Right, and he did not get it. Yeah.
But
my God. We both remember the questions Lana gets wrong. That shows you how.
That tells you everything.
Yeah.
I just feel like the categories are skewed to advantage men. So
yeah, I agree with that.
Maybe we should boycott. I don't know. I don't know where
we need
this
the Friends
go.
edition.
Yeah, is that a thing?
Totally is.
I mean, I would dominate.
There's like Friends edition of some game like that, isn't it? Trivial Pursuit. I'm pretty sure it is.
It's so funny you're mentioning Friends because my phone is resting on the "I'll Be There for You" book by Kelsey Miller, which everyone should read. By the way, it's so good. I mean, if you like Friends,
there definitely is. And there is Friends Trivial Pursuit.
Yeah. Ooh,
so
I
we'll
bet
just
you
play that.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of better versions for us.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
I had 80s edition, and that was so fun.
Ooh. Oh,
Yeah, I
but
got
it
at
was
a garage
made
sale for, like,
recently,
$2.
or it was like from the 80s?
No, made recently as a throwback with questions about the 80s.
Because I'll tell you, the 80s version that I would play when I was, in the mid-90s, but we
Yes.
just had an old version.
Yeah.
It was so hard because, I mean...
Same.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't like that.
So hard with, like, obscure references to, like
political
movie
figures.
stars from, or that. See, these are the ones that land, and you can put any generation, and he'll know I'm like, how on earth do you know the answer to this? I'm so mad.
I do like that about him, though.
Sometimes I think he's, like, cheating. I'm like, are the cards see-through? Am I holding it? Like, I pull it up in a very specific way so he, like, can't look at it. So I'm like, there's no way you can know this. How do you know this? And then I try to cheat, and I can't even do it.
Wow. That hurts. That hurts.
I know.
Did you hear, changing the subject, did you hear about the woman who has a medical condition that prevents her from being able to hear men's voices?
Oh, my gosh. That is so funny. Is it that she can't hear low tones?
Yes.
I wonder if she could hear me.
That's what I want to know. I was thinking the same thing because
Can't she hear Sarah?
You teeter on the brink. You have a deep voice.
do.
You're like Kathleen Turner over there.
Yeah.
I
do
mean,
have a deep voice.
And so
People used to always confuse me and my little brother on the phone, especially while he was going through puberty.
Oh my God, Sarah! So if you has anyone told you sing like a baritone or something? Like what's
No,
your
but I definitely do. I sing like Johnny
alto
Cash.
too? Johnny Cash.
It's like the only songs I can sing.
I'm actually in pain. That hurt. I just laughed so hard it hurt. That's really funny. Well, she woke up with this problem. She hasn't been born with it. She went to bed with I think she just didn't feel well and she had some ringing in her ears and then woke up and couldn't hear her boyfriend. And so she went to an ear...
That would freak me out.
Yeah.
He's talking, but you can't hear. Oh,
she went to an ear, nose, and throat specialist, and it was a female doctor, and she could hear her. And then when they brought in a male, she couldn't, and that's how they determined that she had reverse slope hearing, which is the low tone problem.
Oh, my God.
And it supposedly will wear off, but for now, she can't hear any men.
You know what? Good riddance.
Living the
great.
dream.
Enjoy it. Enjoy it while it lasts, girl. And if it's contagious, come over to my house.
Somebody wrote that on Twitter, and I thought, I would be so mad if this were reversed and a man couldn't hear a woman and all the men
would be
were like...
so angry.
Yeah, but it's super funny when it's not reversed.
Yes. This reminds me of that movie that's coming out, What Men Want.
What?
Oh my God, I'm so excited. It is so good. I can't wait to go see it. So remember how they had What Women Want with Mel Gibson and he woke up and he could hear women's thoughts?
Yes.
This is the reverse.
Oh
and
my
it's
God.
a woman and it's what's her name?
Tahari?
Tahari something. I can't remember. I have to remember her name.
Is she a woman of color?
Yes. What is her name? What Men Want is with... she's so beautiful. Oh, my God. Tahari P. Henson. Am I saying her name right?
Yes. I'm laughing because this is the funnest game to play with you.
Yeah.
Where,
What is her name? I
What
have to,
celebrity
Google it.
is Sarah thinking of?
Oh my God. And I'm like, and then I was trying to think of what, oh, that's right. She's in Empire. I was like, what is the name of that show that she crushes
she's
it
Cookie.
as Cookie.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
and
Tahari
it
P.
looks
Henson.
so funny.
What is the essence
So
of
funny.
what men think? Is it just sex stuff?
There's one in the preview where she walks past a guy and in the guy's head, he's like, she just walked past a cloud of my farts. And she looks back at him and it's all gross stuff and them checking out women and I can't wait to see it. I'm so excited.
They're probably going to make it be oh, they're deeper than we think or something.
I'm sure. Blah, blah, blah.
That's
Or
the
maybe
part
not. We'll see.
I am not here for that.
We'll see. But I just love that it's the reverse. I just love everything. I can't wait to see it.
I love that Mel Gibson won't be in it.
Yeah, get out of here.
I wanted to tell you about a fun, this is not an ad, but it totally sounded like I was doing an ad. This cool feature on Merriam-Webster's website. Which
I love Merriam-Webster's Twitter and their web. I love everything about it. They've got great stuff on there. Tell me what I need to check out.
Yeah, they have a great Twitter, which I appreciate any kind of wit and references, but they have a cool feature called time traveling, and it basically allows you to see in whatever year you want what words came into the collective lexicon. So
Yes.
The year by year list, starts with the year 1500, and they said it's the rich vintage that gave us backside, brownie,
Wow.
cadaver, civil law, and haircloth. What the hell's a haircloth?
What the hell is a haircloth?
But it's really fun, and it goes through 2010.
I love that.
And like you can look up the year you were born, and it's actually, I mean, obviously it's whimsical and just a cool thing to be able to do, but it does tell you a lot about like what's happening at that time. Like it talked about how the first year of the American Revolution in 1775, the terms anti-American, free speech, insurgent, and liberalized became, words. And that's pretty cool.
Is that not crazy? That kind of blows my mind a little bit.
Yeah.
To think that because you think of a word like free speech or something like that. You're like, free speech. Like
it's
free
just
speech,
it's not a thing, but
didn't
it's a
exist
thing.
before.
Right.
Wow.
That's when it became a thing, as the kids
That's
say.
cool.
And
I'm into it.
In the 1960s, you get like After Party,
Fun.
diazepam, and Funny Farm.
Because diazepam, that's great. That's when all the first generation antipsychotics came out.
And then in the 70s, you get like a lot of cuisine and geopolitics. Like you get carpaccio and chai, like chai tea, or gulag and Mooney, like the Moonies. Mm-hmm. Which I just think this is such a cool. This is
super
like
cool.
Us being sapiosexuals again.
Yes,
because
I love it. Brain candy brainiacs all are too.
Yeah, I think that like I like wordplay. I like anything to do with like vocabulary and then putting in the context of history. I think what a cool feature.
Ooh.
Let me see if I have
Wordplay
any.
is your foreplay.
You would think. I mean, I do love a good, like there's, okay, not to bring up Billy Joel again, although I will. I've
been trying to craft the ultimate tweet in my head, and I'm like, what do I say? What do I
have
do
to
to
write
hook
it.
them? What do I do? Because I was like, do I include a picture? Do I make it look kind of like a wanted ad or wanted poster where it's like, have you seen her? And like, missing, needed on stage or something like that. I'm like trying to come up with like the most clever way to really catch his attention.
Thank you. That means
You're
a lot to
welcome.
me because let me tell you this. I get at least one tweet or something a day about Jeff fucking Goldblum. And not one person tweeted out the Billy Joel thing.
I will do it right this second, just to plant the seed.
And okay, so he wrote this song called Christy Lee. It was obviously about Christy Brinkley, but it is a very clever song lyrically, and I just love it because like he uses the guy's saxophone. This guy in the song named Joe who plays the saxophone. He uses it throughout the song as a metaphor for sex. So like, she wanted to go home with him and like Joe could play in every key and she didn't want another lover. All she wanted was the sax. And then she didn't need another lover. All she wanted was the horn. And I was like, oh my God, Billy, with all these double entendres. I love it. So I guess I am into
double
that.
entendre kind of.
That is my foreplay, I guess.
Yes.
Have you seen on social media this trend of like regular people, asking a celebrity to like run them over?
What?
It's like a new thing where people are like, oh my God, like Timothy Chalamet looks so hot. He needs to like run me over right this second with his BMW or whatever. Have you heard? No?
I
like
wonder if run me over is also a euphemism.
I think it is.
I think it is too.
Yeah, there was this article in The Cut saying like why it's like they called it a catastrophic sense of desire where like you want them so bad and they'll be like, push me down the steps.
Oh my God, that is weird.
It's kind of weird, but it's also like meant to be playful without being like crude sexually. but then also not being genuinely morbid, like just sort of silly. But I wondered if you like had seen people doing this like before the Golden Girl.
I have not. I mean, the only thing that the only thing that pops in my head is the line from Clueless where she says, "He said you were so sweet, you gave him a toothache."
Oh.
And that is the only thing I can think of where pain and love are used playfully.
Yeah, but that actually makes sense because sweet.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, right.
I love him so much. I want him to run me over with his car.
Have you ever had
That's
that
a stretch.
sense
We're
of-
really running out of pickup lines is what this means.
I do think it's, social media has created this thing where things like take on a life of their own. And then it becomes, again, like a thing. And it doesn't mean what, normally it would mean.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. And, I'm sure it's in some song somewhere. That's where everybody...
By the way, I don't know if you were over the other day. No, you had called the other day and Adam was talking to you, I think. Or maybe, no. It was when you came over the other day and you somehow knew that Adam had, like, gotten the citizen test thing. How did you know that?
Because, I think I asked him what he was up to that day, or he looked real nice, and he said he was going to do the civil, like the citizenship thing.
Yeah, okay. I'm just asking because I'm looking down at the desk, and there's he has like a study guide. He's English,
yes,
and he's trying to become an American citizen. He's just a permanent resident right now with his green card, which is what you get when you get married. But he has to study this thing, which we should go over it on the next episode and see if we could pass.
Absolutely, we should. I will fail it all.
I probably would too. I haven't even looked at it.
I mean, I got 1776. That's all I got for you.
Oh my God. We would not qualify. I
don't think I would. I really like that. I graduated high school I didn't have a senior year. I graduated my junior year and your senior year is when you do American history. And I never did it.
Oh my God. What about in college?
I did have to take a U.S. history class, but it was more on current stuff, and we read the new Jim Crow, and we read, it was all very, stuff that was happening right now.
Okay.
So yeah, they had two options. They have like U.S. history from like this point in time and back, or this point in time forward, and I picked the newer one.
Yeah,
because I was like, I don't even have a foundation of knowledge for the older one because I missed that class in high school.
Wow. Well, on the next episode, then people will be able to see how terrible we are at U.S. history.
Yes.
That'll be fun.
Yes.
Anything else before we go?
Just like
the huge.
Shout out to all my brain candy brainiacs, and I love you.
Love you guys. Talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.